What if I told you that the reason you feel stuck right now, the reason you wake up tired even after sleeping, the reason nothing excites you the way it used to, isn't because you're broken, weak, or doomed, but because you're trapped inside a pattern so familiar that your brain mistakes it for reality, a pattern that quietly repeats itself every single day without asking your permission. Starting late at night when the world is silent and your mind finally slows down enough to feel everything you've been avoiding, and you tell yourself just 5 more minutes on your phone, just one last scroll, just one more video, and those minutes stretch into hours, your eyes burn, your body is heavy, and before you realize it the night is gone, the future you promise yourself disappears, and morning arrives like a punishment you didn't prepare for. You wake up late, rushed, already behind, already disappointed in yourself. And you whisper the same sentence you've whispered 100 times before: today is already ruined, and somewhere between that thought and the next scroll a dangerous question slips into your mind. Why does this only happen to me? Why does everyone else seem disciplined, focused, productive, happy, while I feel stuck in the same place watching my life pass by? And the scariest part is not the question itself but how believable it feels, because your brain has been quietly training you to believe it, reinforcing the same behaviors, the same thoughts, the same emotional responses until it convinces you that this is who you are, that this hole you're in is permanent, that climbing out is impossible. But listen carefully, this isn't depression the way you've been labeling it. This is a loop, a self-created pattern built from small choices repeated so many times that they now feel automatic. And your mind loves patterns because patterns feel safe, even when they're destroying you. Because at least they're familiar, so your brain lies to you, telling you that you can't change, that you're stuck here, that this is just your personality. But it's not, it's conditioning. And every time you repeat the same action you strengthen the same mental pathway. And then your brain pretends you had no choice. So the next time you feel that heaviness in your chest, that numbness, that sense that nothing matters anymore, pause for a moment and ask yourself one brutally honest question. Did I do even one thing today that could pull me out of this situation? And if you answer truthfully, the answer is usually no, because staying up late scrolling, watching other people's perfect moments, comparing their highlight reels to your behind-the-scenes struggles, and mentally attacking yourself for not being better has never saved anyone, not once. And maybe right now you're thinking, okay, but where do I even start? Everything feels messed up, my motivation is gone, my discipline is gone, my confidence is gone, and this is exactly where most people quit. Because the mind loves extremes. It tells you either fix everything at once or don't try at all, and when fixing everything feels impossible, you do nothing. But this is where the shift happens if you allow it, because instead of fighting yourself, you need to interrupt the pattern. And the first step isn't discipline, it's awareness. It's catching yourself in the moment and saying, if I don't change even one small thing today, my life will look exactly like this next year, and the year after. That same nights, same exhaustion, same regret, same feeling of potential slipping through your fingers, and that realization should scare you just enough to move, not in a dramatic, life overhaul way, but in a quiet, almost unimpressive way, by choosing one small action. A 5-minute walk, one page of a book, cleaning one corner of your room, drinking water instead of scrolling, and your brain will instantly fight back. It will say this is pointless, this won't change anything. You've tried before, you'll fail again. But big changes have never started big, they start invisibly. The way your phone doesn't jump from 0 to full battery in 1 second, it charges slowly, bar by bar. And you don't notice it until suddenly you have enough power to get through the day. Your mind works the same way, healing works the same way, control works the same way. Because the real enemy here isn't sadness, it's autopilot, it's living unconsciously inside habits you didn't choose. And to break out of that trap you don't need motivation. Motivation is unreliable. You need disruption. You need to break the pattern even once. Because every time you do something different, no matter how small, you weaken the old loop and create space for a new one. And when your mind whispers I can't do this, answer it with just once I'll try. Because the real victory isn't transforming your life overnight. It's proving to yourself that you still have control, even for a moment. And that moment matters more than you think. But here's where most people get confused. They say I understand all of this, I know what I should do, I've watched the videos, read the quotes, heard the advice. So why can't I actually apply it? And the answer is uncomfortable but freeing. Your conscious mind understands logic, but your subconscious mind runs your habits, your impulses, your emotional reactions. That's where the real battle is happening. That's why at night when you promise yourself you'll sleep early, your hand still reaches for the phone. That's why when you want to change, something invisible pulls you back, because your subconscious is addicted to familiarity, not happiness. And maybe right now you feel like everything is over, like you've wasted too much time, like you're too far behind to catch up. Welcome to the nights where you're exhausted but can't sleep, where your own thoughts chase you, where every scroll hides another silent loss, another reminder of what you're not doing, and every negative thought pushes you further down. But hear this clearly, this doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. And the moment you realize that this pattern isn't you, it's something you learned, is the moment you gain the power to unlearn it. Because the same brain that built this loop can rebuild a better one, slowly, deliberately, patiently. And no one is coming to save you from this cycle. But that's not bad news, that's freedom. Because the same hands that scroll can choose to stop, the same mind that doubts can choose one disciplined action, and the same life that feels stuck can shift direction through one decision repeated daily, and progress won't feel dramatic at first. It will feel boring, almost invisible, but one day, you'll notice you're sleeping better, reacting less, thinking clearer, and you won't even remember when it started, because change doesn't announce itself, it accumulates. So before this moment passes, before you return to autopilot, remember this: you don't need hours, you don't need motivation, you don't need a perfect plan, you need awareness and one small action. Because controlling yourself is the hardest and most powerful skill you'll ever learn, and once you taste that control, even for a minute, your brain will remember what it feels like to move forward again. And that is how the loop breaks, that is how the darkness loosens its grip, not all at once, but enough for you to breathe, enough for you to believe again, enough for you to take the next step forward.